Welcome back to Pen and Prosper, a podcast where JT Lawrence is coaching me, Elizabeth Delport, to be a six-figure author, and we are putting it on the internet. Today, we have one of our subscribers, Paula, Paula, you have been spoken about quite often. I don't know if you know, your name keeps creeping in because I just love the fact that we are on kind of such a similar path, you and I. Like, we're on such a similar journey with this whole process. I think we both started to see the rise at the same time. And obviously, we are both Italian princesses, which we will get to soon. Before we do that, we would like to say a huge thank you to our paid subs and to our editor extraordinaire, Elize, and to our sponsor, Vellum, without whom we would not be putting books on the internet half as easily. If you would like to try Vellum, we do have a code. It is tryvellum.com/pen and prosper, where you can go and try out Vellum's features for free, and you only pay when you want to export a project. So, and now I love that you and I are hijacking the show while JT's away. The Italian princesses are here.
Well, the cat's
So-
away.
100%. So while we are on the topic of Italy, I just have to say, when I saw you come zooming past me, I was like, I was like, what just happened? Did you find that Italy just fired quickly? Because I just found that Italy just from day one just did well.
It just out the gate.
Yes.
Did the
Crazy.
thing. And the click costs are crazy low. Every time I launch a new ad, I've got to scroll right down to the bottom to find what the CPC is. Like, it is crazy. Don't know. Italy just works.
I
Just
know
works.
and yet not for JT. It's always been her lowest. So it is funny how different countries, and I think anyone who's looking at translation should definitely test and try for themselves. I don't know if it's a genre thing. I don't know. It's crazy. But before we get into all of those things, I would like to know. So tell me a little bit about your author journey to this point. Like, how has it been? I know you shared your graph so generously in the group to let us, and it made me feel so good. I was like, oh, I'm not alone with this like complete flat line. And then the sudden growth.
Absolutely. No. And it has been 100%. We're in it together as far as that's concerned. I mean, I was writing in 2018. I had a 3-year-old at home, so that was something that I could do in my dressing gown. That was kind of where my head was at back then. But I first published a series of novellas in 2020.
Okay.
When the world fell apart.
Yes.
But I was doing one of those a month. They were very small, 15,000 words. I did that for about a year. So it was a cozy fantasy series. Of course, selling essentially long short stories was really just throwing my hat in the ring. And it wasn't until I picked up my cozy mystery series, paranormal cozy mystery series, that I started publishing full-length novels. It took a while to get those out, I guess. I only just finished that series last year with some pretty big breaks in between. And then I started an urban fantasy series, which I started publishing in 2025. And
This is your elf. This is the one that I see on all I keep wanting to say the Italian name because that's where I see it the most.
Yeah, you would do.
The promotion of elf.
Yeah, that one.
That one. Okay.
That one.
And that one has obviously been the most successful, I think, if I stand corrected. Has that been like the one that's done the best, or is it your cozy?
I mean, that's an interesting question with an interesting answer. I would say that the cozy right now is my front runner. This is kind of that question around front list and back list and all of that sort of stuff. But it wasn't a winner until I started the translations, because when I did the translations, I put it all into a complete series box set. So after I found some success with that, I then put out the English edition into a 6-book box set complete series, and that's killing it. So Are
you finding box sets easier to market than the standalone titles? Yeah,
absolutely.
That's been my experience too. And actually, it makes me. I wish I could get my individual books firing. I keep trying to send ads to them, and they just. It's unbelievable. You'll send an ad to a box set and it flies, and you send it to the first in series and it just does nothing. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong there. If I figure it out, I'll let you know, and you do the same.
Maybe. Yeah. I'm looking forward to putting this fantasy series into a box set because I just know that the ad's going to be so much easier at that point. And even when you're running those ads, you find that the singles start selling anyways.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the US, how are you finding the US? Because, for me, I know you watch the show, like I find that incredibly difficult. I'm seeing a bit of traction now with Shadow Magic, but it's not coming from my ads at all. It's coming from YouTube and from TikTok, but my ads just don't work in the US.
Yeah, I mean, I think ads for me in the US is starting to take off. We're going back a few months. I think about 50% of my income was Germany and then sort of the rest. But I was lucky enough to have a BookBub featured deal on the English edition of the Cozy box set in January. Since then, it has just been doing very well in English markets with ads. But I also had the Urban Fantasy series have a free reads feature. So not a featured deal, the free reads category. I think it was the following day. Since then I've been able to get ads firing. I don't know whether.
Do you think it's the ads, or do you think it's the? I mean, what is the attribution data? Is that saying it's the ads, or is it saying that it's the?
See, I probably rely a lot less on the attribution data. I kind of like, I don't have the TikTok going on in the background. I don't have other things, I guess. So if I see money coming in the US on those books, then I'm going, okay, yeah, and I'm scaling them, and the money's scaling. So it has to be the ads.
And the thing is that, and I want to talk about scaling actually, and how you scale your ads, but I have found the same thing. So I'd switched off a German ad last week because the attribution data just said it was rubbish. And the sales are just going, and I'm like, it has to be the ad. And, we had Nick Erickson on the show 2 weeks ago. I don't think the episode's aired yet, but he
did, because I listened to it.
Oh, has it? Okay, sorry. So that one's come out. So he says that the attribution data is like 85 to 90% reliable. And for me, that's not my experience at all of attribution data.
Do you know what? I think we're in this together. Maybe if you're moving really large volume, it's accurate. But if I was to go off the attribution data alone, I'd be turning off all my ads all the time. Where I do use attribution data is if I've got a couple of different creatives going on in, say, the US to decide which one's doing better than the other one.
Okay. Fabulous.
Otherwise, I kind of don't dwell on
the attribute. Yeah, you just the sales. I'm gonna say if the sales are coming in and the RR's there, I'm like, that's it, keep going. Okay, scaling. You mentioned scaling. I have found that as soon as I go up above a certain threshold, my ads my ROI drops. So I found that multiple smaller ads for me work better than one big ad. That being said, when I had one big ad running in Italy, I was Italy's darling, and now you are Italy's darling. So I may have sabotaged.
No, I'm with you. $5 ads are great.
Yes, and I find that the $5 ads, I get a great ROI, and I just keep them, and then I'd rather set up a new one. But if I do, so I am trying to scale a few, and I've got so scared of messing up a working ad that I am scaling 10%. So I'll go from like $3 to $3.30, and then to $3.60, like that slowly, because, and I think, oh, Melissa, you really are wasting time. But so what is your kind of scaling methodology? Like, how do you do the same, just tiny little increments?
So I guess, when I talk about $5 ads, I'm talking about Australian dollar $5 ads. So that's actually the minimum you can put on in Australian dollars. So I think we're 70 cents on the US dollar. Can't math that. But so I've got $5 ads firing in different places. So I'm advertising in Germany, Italy, and France, those two series, UK, Australia, and US.
Okay.
So if I'm scaling, I'm probably testing new creatives. I might have, say, 4 different creatives going on in the US for one box set, and then maybe 3 for the single for the urban fantasy. And I might just play around with that. I've actually just started scaling one to $10 in the US recently, but I'm like you, I get nervy because I'm like, this is working really well. I don't want to break it.
Yes.
So I guess, like, in terms of my daily ad budget, like, it's only it's $120 a day. So when I think about all of the books and all of the regions, like, I'm kind of always turning one off to turn one on. So
yes, I do the same. Like, one has to go off to turn one on. Otherwise, I just blow out my budget. And I'm like, oh, I can't carry that for so long.
Mhm.
And I also found that if an ad starts to die, reshuffling that, then I'll change the budget drastically, and it tends to fix the ad for a while. Like if an ad starts to look like it's doing badly, I'll take it from $5 to $3, and leave it for a few days and then put it back to $5. And it tends to because I think there's nothing to lose from a dying ad. If in worst case, I turn it off. But I've managed to eke out a good couple of months extra on an ad by doing that.
That's
So are
interesting. I'll
you looking
definitely
at
give it a go.
are you looking at your ads every single day? Like, yeah, same as me. Same as me. Just to check what is going
That's
on.
on my list. Yeah, for sure. It's the first thing I do when I get up, and it's not like I'm
Yes.
poring over every ad, but I'm checking the spend and checking the income from the previous day
Yes.
and putting that into a sheet, which just kind of gives me a handle on, okay, what's happening. If I see
Yes.
something that's like climbing in CPC as well, I try not to panic. I'm like, all right, I'm going to give it about 48 hours and still see if it's still high.
Yes.
Because I've had some ads that have gone CPCs like through the roof, and then in a couple of days they just settle down again. I'm like, okay,
Okay.
so
Just leave them for
yeah,
a bit. Yeah. Okay. I'm wondering, do you have a CPC column on your actual sheet that you track? I'm thinking I should do that just to, I think the more information, the better, to give you a bigger picture.
in the
Or
daily
do you?
tracking sheet I do, although that's a CPC for like the entire spend for a region. So
Okay.
like what's the average CPC in the US on any given day across all my ads, rather than like it's not
Okay.
granular ad level detail. I
Okay.
do a weekly tracker as well where I track the series in the regions to see whether or
Okay.
not the ads for particular series are doing well.
Okay.
Yeah.
You haven't tried Canada. I heard your English. You said that because Australia. My parents live in Australia, so my brothers are like Aussie. They're like full on Aussie because they went when they were so young. But so English territories, because I've got like a list, and it's like okay, the US and UK, then Australia, and then Canada. I kind of have them there, but I haven't tested Canada at all.
I've done one to Canada that's been doing okay, although that looks like it's climbing now. That was for
Okay.
the Cozy Mystery. The Urban
Okay.
Fantasy one tanked pretty quick. So I will
Okay.
give that another shot, but like it just
Yeah.
didn't fire. So, and I just put
Okay.
the ad budget elsewhere.
And with your graphics, so I'm so fascinated by this North Star method because it just takes a lot of the headache out of running ads. And it makes a lot of sense for a seamless, get your cover graphic or your cover image going to your cover page. Like it just makes sense in my head. It just seems easier, right? There's like no ambiguity. There's no, what is this? Is it a movie? Have you tested North Star ads? Have you found? Because I have found if I look back across the ads that I've run, the ones that are closest to cover image normally do the best and last longest. Like they hold for a longer period.
Yeah. Look, I have done them in the past, although it's actually something that you said, and that Caroline said that has stuck with me actually and has been really working, is looking for those scroll stopping, really quite silly ads as well has been working really well for me. So, I think it's the ad where you've got it's not a dog or something that you talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah, it's
Totally
not a
not
dog.
surprised that that's working. The ad that's doing the best for me at the moment is a picture of my witch character in a car with her cat, and its caption should have opted for the sedative. And
Oh, I love
that has gone
it.
gangbusters. That has worked in all the
Wow.
territories, translations and all. So I think,
Okay.
yes, the book cover, but like in a world where the creatives get tired so quickly, having
Yes, we've
those
got to keep
kind of
going.
really what the images, I think, to stop
Yes.
people scrolling and actually go, oh, what's that about? I think are king. But I mean, Nicholas Eric is an expert, so I'm not about to say that he's wrong.
I don't know. I think the mileage just varies it's so different. I don't think there is one size fits all. It's just kind of maybe it doesn't stop as many people, but the clicks are more, they convert better. I don't know. I don't know. It's just, yeah,
Mm.
I have found that also I get so tired of thinking of creatives. Like that's brilliant. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm smart enough like to keep coming up with like these, I mean, that's genius. And I'm like, oh no, I got to come up with another five of those. So
Well, except you can absolutely get AI to help you with that. So,
true. Sounding so
those zoomed in
clever.
moments.
Yeah, smart. Let's talk about YouTube because YouTube has been such a hot topic. I don't know if the episode is aired yet, but JT's YouTube finally got monetized.
I did
She's
it.
like, yes, she was so excited. She left, she was flying and I messaged her about it and I said, have you heard anything? She said no. And then literally while we were talking, she got the email saying you have been monetized. So she's so excited. But I mean, that's just frustrating, right? Like, why were they denying her? But your YouTube, when I went and had a look, like, it's super impressive. Like, you've leaned into long before we even knew you could make money on YouTube. Paula was there. So
I've been there for a long time. Yeah.
yeah. So firstly, how did you, like, how did it come into your orbit? Like, it wasn't something I'd even considered, or how did your YouTube thing start? And then what do you think got you to the point? Like, your views are so impressive, and you have a community on there, and it's going really well. You've got nice followers. So, kind of any tips about YouTube that you want to share with us?
Look, I feel like I was giving so much energy to YouTube probably at the end of 2023 and the start of 2024 is when I
Okay.
started really, and like the tools I was using at the time, I can't even remember what they were called to actually get it wasn't 11 Labs, it wasn't Play HT that came later. It was something else again that I was using to do the text to voice, right? So,
Okay.
and I remember playing around years ago with, like, before the tools were anywhere near good enough, right? Saying one day these will get good enough to do this. And I think I was using Play HT by the time I got the Cozy Mystery series out. And again, this is old, so I don't know if it's relevant. Some of the things I did was to add on my front page, and I've actually swapped it over to you and JT now, is a section for audiobooks by authors that I love. And it's actually got different channels on there from authors that are writing in similar
Oh, wow. That's
genre.
smart. Clever.
Well, I think it just tells the algorithm from the get-go, like, what are similar content channels. It just nudges them along the way. So I was lucky enough to get really good views from the outset from the Cozy Mystery series. Like, it just quickly took off. And
Okay.
actually, like, I was well beyond the 4,000 hours before I was really creeping up the subscriber count. The other thing that people generally don't know is that, like, I wouldn't want to leave money on the table either and be burning through all of those extra hours on top of the 4K. You can run a very low cost ad on Google Ads to a video, one of your audiobooks, in a very low cost country for clicks. You can look those up.
Oh,
Yeah. So I think
okay.
I learned this when I was at about 800 subscribers.
Okay.
And I think I ran an ad for less than $20 and got the rest of those subscribers that I needed to apply for monetization.
That's so smart. That is actually so smart. Did you make sure it was
Well,
obviously an English speaking low cost country, or didn't matter? You
I,
just,
I think India was one of the countries, and of course,
okay.
English is pretty widely spoken. There's a lot of
Yes.
English
That's
spoken in
very
that
smart.
country.
I had a
Yeah.
friend who used that strategy for Facebook. You know, back in the day where, like, how many Facebook likes or follows you had was like your success. She did, and everybody was running Facebook ads to get followers. And she did that. But she then very cleverly went and looked for English speaking countries, but like obscure little lands, and she ran ads. So she got really cheap, like she got
Yeah.
so much of a following for like really a very small ad spend. The only problem obviously comes in now that the algorithm, those people aren't engaging with your page. So it doesn't always work in the long term. But yeah, to get to that monetization, I think that's fabulous. But yeah,
The
not
good views
on,
for
yeah,
YouTube. Yeah.
yeah.
So I
Because
wouldn't be afraid to
90%
do it.
of the views don't come from your subscribers. They come from non-subscribers. So I think with YouTube,
Yeah.
it's definitely a good, that's so smart. Okay, so let's talk about JT since she's not here. She can't stop it.
Mhm.
She is having such a jewel. She is at Ireland's publishing show. We've been getting pictures from her, hanging out with all the big names and just being an absolute doll. Like, I'm so jealous. I said to her, I can't wait. One day. Oh, and you also, like me, you have to travel from the arse end of the world to get
I know. I know. Yeah. One day we will earn all the money so that we can afford a plane trip to Ireland for sure.
the mastermind would have been the one that she's going to next would have been perfect for you because it's in New Zealand.
Just
But
around the
it's
corner.
but it's invite only one day.
Oh,
And of
yeah, I'm not
course,
important enough.
when we get invited, they won't have it in New Zealand.
No, no,
I
of
don't
course
think
not.
anyone will host a conference in South Africa, sadly. So yeah, I will be traveling. Okay, so let's talk about JT. So I'm so interested not only to know what has worked of her advice, because obviously it all differs, but also is there something that really just did not work for you? Like you were like, oh, hell no, like that, tried it, failed, put that aside.
It's more TikTok. I did give it a go.
Okay.
I really tried. No, not for
Okay.
me.
Not for you.
It, it's just about bandwidth and the amount of time and energy it
Yes.
takes. Like I don't
Yes.
have enough hours in the day and I just don't love it enough. I'm not a social media darling. I
Okay.
don't enjoy being on social media. And so I guess that, yeah, I kind of got swept up. I did the course, Bobby Kim course. I got all the
Yes.
things set up. I was doing videos and I'm just like, I can't sustain this. I can do this for a couple of weeks and then no.
It takes a huge amount of time. And does that apply to all social media for you? Like that's just not something that you want to do. Okay. Yeah, because I know Rachel's just had a video go viral on Instagram and her sales graph, and I tell you, unbelievable. Like how it just went. I think she cracked top 1,000 in the Amazon.com store. All
Wow.
from a
Yeah.
viral Instagram. I think it was like 200 and something thousand views, like really, really done well. But I'm like, the amount of energy that's gone into getting that one viral video. I mean, Rachel, I think of all of us is probably the best at social media because everything she touched, I always say she's like Midas, but everything she touches turns pretty. Yeah. And I'm the same. I'm like, I know that we should be doing it, but I really find social media very fatiguing. I think if it wasn't for Paige, mine probably also would have just crashed and burned by now. So,
Yeah. And some people enjoy it and love it and they, that's where they want to hang out. And that's like people having success with that, like all the better. For
yes,
me personally, like
so I
I
want to
don't
do
have the
that.
energy and yeah, if I can, I would rather pay for ads and spend more time writing
Yes.
than really kind of grinding with the social media stuff.
Yes. And then Amazon ads. Have you doubled with your Amazon ads?
Yeah, I'm not so much success ever,
Yeah.
really.
No.
Every now and again I get excited and go and put an ad on, it goes nowhere and I go and turn it off eventually. But it's bandwidth. I will get there one day. It's really more about, yeah, focusing what I can
Yeah.
do now and kind of, I guess, broadening out once I'm cozy
Yes.
and comfy and got some time to commit to it.
Yeah, so I find the same. I think, well, the Facebook ads works. So why am I going to take
Mm.
$5 and put it into an Amazon ad that's going to crash and burn when I can put it into a Facebook ad and have a return on it? But in the interest of not having all my eggs in one basket, I think I'm the same as you. Like I do want to get to a point where I do have Amazon ads running, even BookBub ads. But again, I don't find those fire for me at all.
I was playing around with BookBub ads at the start of the year and I will return to them. But again, it
Mm,
just kind of came down to capacity for me. But particularly like when I go to launch the next series, I'll definitely be putting a lot of energy into book.
into
Like
it.
the also bought factor, I think is huge because I think when JT sort of speaks about that her Amazon ads aren't going to do what they need to do until her also bought so like perfect BookBub helps those ads. So I feel like
Yes.
that's probably the next place to go and then maybe Amazon will be easier. I don't know.
I know, I know. It's a lot. It is a lot. That overwhelm is
Mm.
so, so real. It's like you're just constantly trying to think of. I have found that the quarterly board and the Kanban board are like a godsend because I'll have something in my head and I'll put it on the quarterly board for, say, quarter three or quarter two. And I'm like, I cannot think about that until I get there. I'm not allowed to. It's like, no, Melissa, I don't, because I just dive down the rabbit hole and then I spend a week doing something that completely derails my whole strategy. So that's been really, I think that's probably the thing I've taken most from the coaching is just being a little bit more structured, more organized, having a strategy and implementing it. So in terms of release, how many, I mean, are you a fast writer, slow writer? How many books do you plan to release, say, in 2026?
Possibly five. I mean, I
Okay.
wouldn't say that I'm a slow writer. I can get words down,
Okay.
definitely. I think I'm probably a lot like you. I can get distracted. Shiny thing over there, I'll want to run off and then I turn around a month's gone and I'm like, oh, I better start writing this
Yeah.
other book. But yeah, I do want to stay zeroed in to get this series in particular done so I can work on the next one. Like I do think
Okay.
that I'm probably geared to writing more and releasing more rather than kind of some of those people that are really great with social media might put out less books a year, but they are working around the clock on things that contribute to funneling people to those books. I'm
Yes.
not doing that, so I just need to get the books out there.
Yes, more books. Arlene, that author that does so well, the Joburg author, she always has said that. Just new releases, new releases. Don't worry about everything else. Just release more books, and it automatically you will. And there's that 3 month dip, and I'm starting to see now. Obviously, Shadow Magic came out at the beginning of January, and I'm now starting to see a little bit of a downward. And I'm like, okay, need to get something else out. Prioritize the writing. So back to the books. I did want to ask you, your book covers. I'm not talking about your cozy now. I actually don't know much about your cozy. Obviously, your urban fantasy, because it's comparable. I'm always looking at it. And your covers are beautiful. They're so like on brand. They're really, really nice. Who does them? Do you do them yourself? You
Yep.
do? Are you like a bit of a Photoshop guru?
No, actually, Affinity Designer. So that's the suite that just went to Canva. So that's the sort of buy once software. Like I wouldn't know how to use Photoshop actually, but I'm pretty good at working with Affinity Designer. Thank
Oh,
you. I love
wow.
the covers.
Yeah, they're really nice. Really, really nice. I've got them open here and they're so slick and they're detailed. Like if you look behind your phone, like there's a lot going on there. That's not just like a stick Canva.
Yeah. Look, Affinity Designer does have like all of the functionality of Photoshop. I guess the buttons are probably all in a different spot and say something else.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
no, I did do them myself. I've absolutely had to bootstrap all the way up. I will probably be getting a cover designer for the next series though, because I can't do covers with people on them. Too hard.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it's very difficult. But luckily, I think it's moving away from that now. I think, I
just
think
in
it is.
time.
Yes. And this is a full book is finished, right? That's it now. You are done.
No, five and
No.
six, 5 and 6 need to
Oh, five
happen.
and six are coming. Okay. And that's what you're going to
Right.
bundle.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
So 6 book bundle, 5 being written now, then the sixth one
Okay.
releasing in August. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
What does a
Gotta
typical
get the
day
words
look like
written.
for you? Are you quite like structured? I know you're a mom. What does a typical day look like for you?
Out of bed at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, JT would
Um,
be so proud.
yeah. And like I wouldn't have ever called myself a morning person before writing, but being a mum, the only time that you get to be a single human being without somebody asking you for something is kind of either
Mhm.
really, really late at night, and that's not me either. So it's
Okay.
early in the morning. So I'm out of bed
Okay.
before everybody else, in front of the computer, getting words down for at least a few hours before I then start the day job. So, and then on the
Mm.
weekend, I can spend a few more hours in the morning doing that sort of stuff. But typically, like by 9 o'clock in the morning, my writing day is done.
Oh, wow. So you are not a full-time author.
No, no.
And you're still so prolific. That
Well,
is
I mean, you can only work with
amazing.
the hours you have. Yeah,
Yes, but sure, your output
yeah.
is great then. I mean, then I feel like I should really up my
No, they say that like when you have less hours, you have to do more with them. Like
Yes.
if you and so many people, like I've listened to lots of podcasts over the years that go full time and they expect that they're going to write like 5 times the amount of books, and they just don't because that's not
No,
how it
it
works.
works.
You know.
100%. 100%. So, what do you do in your day job? If you don't mind my asking, you don't have to say.
Uh things and stuff. No, I at the moment I'm writing grant submissions for a legal service. I'm doing
Okay.
program implementation, all of that sort of stuff. I
Okay.
live on Zoom meetings all day long.
Oh,
And
wow. Okay.
yeah, just writing really boring things during the day.
Okay, but still writing. That's quite nice. I mean, it's kind of
Mhm.
there and there. Okay, and is
Yeah,
the goal to eventually go full time? I mean, that's the dream, right? Or for you, is it
I mean
more?
it's the dream, sure, but it's also I'm not the person who hates my job and is counting down
Okay.
the days before I can submit my resignation.
Okay.
Making money as an author allows me to do more things, I guess.
Yes.
Eventually, it'd be nice to get to the point where I could step back and not be working a full-time job and be maybe doing part time. I don't think I could ever take my finger fully out of the day job stuff, though.
Okay.
I feel like it's good for me to people a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think that I would people less being a full-time author, which is probably not a good thing for me.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so exciting. Okay. Paula, is there anything that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I only just wrote some notes around on what actually this podcast has done for me. So, and I mean, the first is absolutely Scribe Shadow. I wasn't even going to actually translate the Cozy box set. Went, no, I'm just going to dip my toe a little bit in and just do the urban fantasy series. But it came around the time that Scribe Shadow was moving to the new pricing structure. So I kind of had a look at that and went, oh, if I don't translate them now, I probably never will. So I had kind of written off those series. I wasn't going to pay attention to those series. It was all front list, just urban fantasy going forward. And I mean, if I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today. Like that's when it kind of took off for me.
We would just like to take this time to tell you guys a bit more about Scribe Shadow. JT and I use Scribe Shadow tirelessly. We do all our translations through the app. It is incredible. Scribe Shadow is the perfect partner for indie authors who don't want to leave money on the table. They use cutting-edge AI to make novel translation fast, affordable, and super easy. In just minutes, your book can be translated into over 19 languages, and that is growing all the time with high-quality results ready to reach readers everywhere.
And this isn't some faceless tech giant. Scribe Shadow is a small family-run team with indie roots. They've been in the trenches running a small publishing press, so they get the author grind. That's why they've built a tool that's practical, budget-friendly, and designed with indie authors in mind. Plus, they offer cover creation, audiobook translation, and a simple one-credit system for everything. Best of all, you keep full rights to your work, and your books are never used to train AI.
Scribe Shadow has been very generous and given us our very own coupon code, which gets you 30% off your first month of using the app. If you are looking at getting into translations, please would you consider using Pen and Prosper 30. That's PENAND PROSPER 30, and doesn't cost you any extra, and it just lets Scribe Shadow know that we are sending traffic to them and that we are supporting them.
And then on the back of those translations, then actually going and taking my English stuff back into Kindle Unlimited because it was wide, and also bundling it as a full series set. That's when that graph went from flatlining to kind of right up there. So yeah, but I think that was also on the back of like, JT taking so much risk on buying her rights back. Like you don't see people being so courageous, I think. A lot of authors are.
She's brave, eh?
Like, oh, that's crazy. So I'm like, yeah, I can invest a little bit of money into doing these translations, and I'm glad I did. It's some of these decisions that we make as authors, like people in business make day to day without even blinking. But it's just so much closer to the heart for us. So sometimes you just have to take the risk, and this one paid off, which was great.
So you had been planning then to just lean hard into the urban fantasy. Now that you're seeing so much success coming from the cozies, does that change your writing strategy? Will you dip back into the cozy because it's doing so well?
Tempted, but that's a shiny, bright idea. I don't think the mysteries are what I should be writing. I think urban fantasy is closer to my heart, but the word count on a cozy is like 50,000 words, so it's so tempting just to try to bash out a 6-book. Yeah. But I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stay focused on the plan. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Focus on the plan. Oh, yes. I'd love to have you back in here and see if the plan has changed. Also, if you're building a stable. So that's, I think, the biggest takeaway for me has been, and I don't know if you ever saw the episode where we discussed, like, JT made me look at my books and, like, what was my plan for each book. Like, and just realizing like how I just made so many, like written this and written that. And I think building a strong stable is so, so, so important. And I've seen it with my friend Charlene. I mean, she's got over 80 books in stable. So I've got those guardrails up, but at least I do have two because I am pretty sure I'm undiagnosed ADD. Like I can't focus on one thing for too long. So it's really, I read 3 or 4 books at a time, and so I think that having two is really good for me. I can go between the new adult romance and the urban fantasy. But if I was a smart woman, I would probably only be writing in one.
Look, I think perhaps I'll probably do some palette cleansers here and there, but I think like putting a frame around that it's palette cleanser for me and actually not a whole new series in a whole new genre. I don't need to be doing any more of that. I've done that 3 times. I need to find some lane and stick to it. Yeah.
And going back to baby Paula, so when did you know you wanted to write books? Like, what was had you always wanted to? Was COVID just kind of like a time of reflection?
Well, I mean, that's interesting too, because I started writing a book when I was in high school and I kind of threw it out and went, no, this is too hard. I was reading a lot of like, epic fantasy at the time. So I went, no, I can't build a world that's too hard, right? Can't do it. Then I think like in my 20s, I was reading historical fiction. I'm like, I really, really want to write one of those. And I'm like, no, it's too hard, too much research. So I kept on putting that like it's too hard. And then I think I was reading an urban fantasy book and I'm like, hold on, this is just in the real world.
Yeah, it's not that hard. Yeah.
And it wasn't like the first one that I'd read, but this one, like I just loved the series. And like when I finished it, I couldn't find another one like it. So that's kind of what bit me in the bum. And I just got going. And I think it was a time of life thing as well, when you've got little people around you, barely limited. Yeah.
Yeah, you can escape as long as you're in the house close by and
100%.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. And it just clicked from there. And then once I'd kind of gotten far enough into a story that I knew, oh, wow, okay, I'm actually doing this. Like I'd written a whole book and I'm like, okay, it can be done. I don't have to build a whole new world. I don't need to, research what 18th century chairs look like in, all of that sort of stuff. And now I probably wouldn't blink if I was trying to think about building an actual fantasy world. So it just comes with practice. But I'd never had the confidence, I would say, to just go, no, actually, I can do this. I told myself for too many years that I couldn't.
Okay. Although you did want to. I mean, it was kind of a bucket list kind of thing. That's so cool. I must say, urban fantasy is so liberating for that reason. Hey, because you're in your real world familiar setting, but then you can build as much or as little as you want within your magic part of it. So it is, it's such a lovely genre to write.
I just really want to say thank you for you both actually doing the podcast. Like, I think what's really unique about this podcast is that the only one I can think of where we've got somebody who is sort of not starting out, but sort of isn't already a wildly successful author was sort of James Blatch and Mark Dawson in the self-publishing show. And that was, laughing at James for 3 years because he was writing his first book. But it's so refreshing to see, like, having the counterbalance of like you there, like talking through what your struggles are and just getting through, I guess those baby steps, if you will, and then JT's there as well, like kind of going, well, it's all possible. And it's so much more relatable than some of the other podcasts that I see around where, you've got a group of people who have clearly made it and have made it for quite a number of years. So it's hard to apply that advice and that, thinking to your own situation.
Especially with budget and things. Hey, it's like, it's like it sounds great, but I can't do this or do that. Like you're hamstrung by your budget. And so starting small, I think is a little bit relatable, like this journeys. And JT is, and she said to me when we started and she said, I'm going to make you a 6-figure author and we're going to put it on the internet. And I was like, I'm in. I mean, I just heard I'm going to make a 6-figure author. The rest didn't matter. And, but honestly, because I had been doing it for so long, I was like, just because you've had the success, like it comes down to territory, where you are, like who you, like all this nonsense, all these excuses. And then when I started to see it working, I was like, what? Like, what? I can do this. Like all these years, I couldn't, it's not for lack of trying. I just was doing everything wrong.
And yes and no, but like it almost feels like you're at the window, you got your nose pressed against the glass. Yeah. Everyone's having a great time inside. And you're like, I don't know how to get inside. I'm with you. I'm with you. I hear you.
And I must say, I mean, she knows how I hate to blow smoke up her ass because I'm here to keep her humble. But she is so generous with her knowledge and she's just changing so many people are like, I can't believe how free she is with the information. And it's so nice because, I mean, there's no need to gatekeep. There's room at the top for everybody. It's such a great, Yeah, I'm here for it. Yeah. I'm here for it. And I love seeing your figures and my figures because they align. And I'm like, see, it's not just me. I'm not like a flash in the pan fluke. This process works if you follow it.
I spent so much time in that first month when I was seeing the needle moving, waiting for the needle to go back down.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
too good to be true. I'm staying up here.
A little bit more. What? Okay. Yeah. 100%. That's exactly where I was at for the longest time. But no, I just absolutely appreciate this show. And it came at a period of time for me where it made a world of difference. Life-changing difference. I mean, I would have kept on writing for all the years, even if nothing had to come from it, because it's my place
Passion.
to escape. But the money's nice. So.
Yeah, it's nice to have a bit
Yeah.
of money. I really hope, Paula, that
Absolutely.
one day you and I can go to these. Like Ireland's publishing show looks like a real good one. So
We've got to
maybe
do it.
next year, 2027, maybe let's set that as our goal. Like, and we're going to go there. We're going to take JT out for a drink. And we're
Absolutely.
going to rub
Absolutely.
shoulders with all these people.
Absolutely. We won't be on the outside anymore. Hey.
Yeah. It's also quite
Yeah.
nice that it's kind of like, I mean, you're an Australian and we're South African, and you're so used to seeing the success stories being American. I know that sounds or like British, or like it's so nice to see, like, look at us down under. We can do it too.
We can do it.
Yeah.
We're here.
Although, do you know, the week that I launched my legacy trilogy, my very first book, Jamin Eve launched her very first book. And I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah.
Yes, so she's Australian. I'm sure she's Australian. Yes, her and I was like, oh, like this girl, and I knew this because we were both in like the release thing, and then we both had, I think, a Kindle countdown deal or something. So I was following her, and I was like, oh, someone that I can track. And of course, I mean, I don't know if you know, but she was like, she just went like nuclear and just never stops. Like and I was like, oh. Not me.
Yeah.
But I go back to all those mistakes I made. I'm convinced I had a terrible cover. I mean, it was, she had such a beautiful cover. So yeah, I did everything wrong. And now I've got someone at least to tell me that, so that I can make sure I do everything right going forward, which is good.
Yeah. So what are you doing about your newsletter?
Oh,
10K.
So we're busy.
How are we getting there?
So I've got 200 new signups already from the Bargain Booksy. I signed up for a Bargain Booksy news. It's called the Subscriber Surge giveaway.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. So that's got me 200 new subs. And then I've just finished yesterday writing the Shadow Magic Reader Magnet, because I've always had my back matter links, but I've never had incentive. And also because I don't know if you watched the episode where I said to JT, and then I asked Paula if we could do a swap, and she said, okay, do you have Reader Magnet? I was like, no. Because I don't know how this works, Paula. So as soon as that is finalized, we're busy editing it now, then I'll definitely reach out. Maybe we can do a little swap and give away a Reader Magnet. And then I'm going to get back on BookFunnel and do some swaps there. And then also reach out directly to some comps and say, would you be prepared to do this? I did notice when I went onto BookFunnel about 2 months ago, I had last been on BookFunnel about 2.5 years ago, and it was exactly the same names that are still running promos. And I was like, I feel like that audience must have fatigue. It must be like, I don't know. Rachel swears by BookFunnel.
I mean, I've done them in the past. Sometimes I'll do them here and there. Sometimes, but I don't feel like they
too much.
Yeah.
But are you using them to send your Reader Magnets? Are you using them to send out your Reader Magnets? Okay. Yeah. So
absolutely.
That's why I've re-signed up, because just to get all my Reader Magnets on there now that I have them. But I think personally reaching out is better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. And I think it's a different ball game. Like, I actually haven't used BookFunnel for the swaps, but I've used the group promos. But I'm in BookFunnel all the time, putting books in, like audiobooks, that kind of stuff. I've got the plan to do that so that I can sell audiobooks off YouTube direct on my store. But I've been running a traffic ad to a BookFunnel page that asks for an email sign up. So I'm going to see how that goes and see whether or not those subscribers are any better, I guess, than some of the other ways of kind of gathering those subs. So
do you get most of your subs from your back matter, from Reader Magnets? Is that where you see most of them coming in? Okay. Yeah, it just makes sense if someone's invested. And also that is the subscriber that you want, the one that's read your book, super invested, wants the bonus content and anything else that you have. So probably going to be your most valuable.
Done that with translations. So book 3 had a bonus chapter. I translated that in German, French and Italian. So I've been getting subs that way as well.
And did you drive those subs to your English newsletter?
No, I've been translating the newsletter. So
okay. So Rachel was on last week, Friday, and we did an episode on different languages, newsletters in different languages, because she's just set up hers, and it was like a big process. But I just don't know if I have that. Like, that to me sounds like Look, hell. I was like, oh, I just don't know if I have that in me. And also, she did say that with emails now, the software is getting so good that a lot of like Google Mail and stuff, you can click and it'll say translate to your language anyway. So
yeah, I think the only thing would be the links. Like if you're pushing links at
yes.
the bottom of that email to different books and whatever, you might run into trouble with that.
So I'm wondering if there couldn't be like a drop down option. Like, do you want it in? I don't know. I need to check MailerLite's functionality for that because I love the idea of, and this is why Rachel has such adoring fans because every reader, she goes out of her way to connect and, you know, obviously you're doing the same thing. Like, I think it's amazing. I just don't think I would have enough signups to make it viable at this stage.
Trust me, it hurts me in my soul to translate a newsletter for like 3 people, but I keep on telling myself that, okay, I need to start now so that as I build over time, it's just routine.
Yes.
Google Gemini is great at doing quick translations of stuff.
Okay.
So
Okay.
duplicate an email and just change the body
Yes.
text.
Just and send it out. Yeah, I need to start. I wasn't getting a lot of signups from foreign languages because I didn't have a reader magnet. So I think that'll change now that I'm setting that all up. It's worth investing in it. So okay.
The only other thing I wanted to mention was that on newsletters was that I got an email from, it was Jamie Albright last week on Tammy Lebrecht's new email storytelling pantry, which is a $27 resource, which gives you a set of prompts or like a recipe for creating a compelling newsletter. So I just wanted to share that because I did download it and I thought it was quite useful, particularly if you're writing a newsletter where you're sitting down, you're staring at a blank page, and you're like, oh, what am I going to send out this week? So I guess like the concept, I'm just going to read you out an example just so that you have an understanding of what it is. So the main ingredient might be a moment a new place felt strangely familiar. What she calls the secret sauce is sometimes detour is the point. And the special seasoning would be to invite them to share something they've recently rediscovered and fallen back in love with. So the story itself could be that you stopped in a random bookshelf while on vacation. You describe it, how it reminded you of how you loved your childhood library. The connection might be that's what detours are really for, reminding us of the things that we thought we'd outgrown. And the invitation is, what about you? Is there something you've recently rediscovered and fallen back in love with? I think it's just, you know, if you sit down and you're struggling to think about, okay, what am I going to share this week? I think it's actually a really good resource.
Are you trying to share once a week your newsletter?
I do it every other week. So,
yeah, so you just don't get that fatigue. And I like that idea because very seldom is there any sort of call to action in my newsletter. It's like I don't ask for anything, you know, but I think that might be really nice to engage people.
Absolutely.
To ask a question and you never know, you might suddenly find people are emailing you back, you know, because otherwise it's like you just shouting out and it's a very one-sided conversation. So that is smart. Thank you, Paula. That's amazing. Okay, well, I think that's everything we need. And thank you so much. I can't tell you. And also just to get to know you a bit better.
I know.
I feel like we're a little bit kindred spirits because our journey's been so similar. Like I looked at your graph and I could have put my graph on top of your graph. It would have looked the same, except mine was longer.
We're the same human.
My flat section is much longer. And we
2026.
and we both live in the arse end of the world, and we like the same. And Italy's darling. And
we are exactly the same. No, it's so nice to meet you.
Yes, I checked this morning. So you are number 2 and I'm number 5, which actually is not good enough for either of us at this point. Okay. So we need to scale. Yeah.
Who has got number 1?
Let me have a look.
The JT thing, you know, I do think, I remember her saying, you know, translations aren't going to last for long. I'm like, man, I think they are. I think they're here to stay. I'm banking on that. Like,
me too, because I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do. Okay, it's Laura Thalassa. I've seen her for quite a while. She got a lovely cover of a crown. She also has a lot more social proof. She's got over 1,000 reviews.
Wow.
Yeah, she's got over 1,000. And then, so you are number 2. I am number 5 with Guardians. Can you believe? Not even Shadow Magic, Guardian.
How is Shadow Magic doing? How did your book club go?
Oh, it went so well. And you called it, hey? A page reads after.
Yeah.
They're just the gift that keeps on giving.
Yes. Have they even gone down?
I don't think so. I must check them again today. But I'm now going to apply for Guardians because Guardians book 1 hasn't had a book club before. So I was like, may as well try.
Just keep on putting it in there. But no, like I'm throwing ad spend at it, but I keep on waiting for like it to start going down. It hasn't.
Okay. Oh,
It
that's
hasn't.
great.
The ads have taken it over and have kept it up there. I think, the page rates that I'm getting every day is just like, okay, yeah.
Take out the financial ROI, the return on your ego. The people are finally reading your books. It's like, like I
Delport, can
think
I
all
tell you
those
something?
it's heartbreaking.
And no. This is going to sound really sad. I finished the last book in that series I put it out in July last year, and I put out a 1 to 3 box set. I'm like, all right. And this was still when it wasn't in KU, right? So it was out wide. I did a bargain booksy, I think, on the 1 to 3 box set. I got 0 sales of book 4.
Yes.
I thought, okay, this series is shit. No one wants to read it. It's terrible. I'm just going to put it in the bin. No one cares about it. That box set, the complete series box set, has a 4.6 average rating.
Yeah. So why?
Figure me that.
I know. And it's soul destroying. I mean, your ego, it's one thing for it to be bruised, but for it to be battered like that is so horrible. So now just knowing that people are reading your book and you're getting good reviews, which means they're actually enjoying it. And it's so rewarding, hey, as a creator. It's like, oh, they like me. They really, really like me.
I'm not a shit writer, I promise. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I wish you nothing but success. I hope 2026 money just rains down on our face, as JT likes to say.
Yeah.
Onward and upward. And now I have your numbers, so I will also obviously share, and you share, like if you come up with any little tidbits, and we've got our Pen and Prosper group, which is so lovely. I do think it'll get more interactive as more and more people kind of get involved. But yeah, we just wanted to have a space where we could chat. Like, how are you going to communicate with everyone?
It's good. It'll be a little bit quiet for now, but
Yes.
it'll pick up.
Oh, thank you, Paula.
No worries. Lovely to hang out.
Yes, and thank you to your family for letting me borrow you during the most important time of the day. I know it's like suicide hour for moms.
The only one who's cared is the cat who's been scratching at the door, I promise.
Okay, great. All right, cool. And are you ready for the awkward wave? Because we all have to do the awkward wave. Okay,
For sure.
you ready?
All right.
Bye.
See ya.